Somebody ever watch that show Bear? It's about like a restaurant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I can't watch it because I've worked in restaurants like my whole life, and it gives me anxiety. Like
So
it makes me
much,
like
dude.
it makes me like start sweating.
I
I
used
start
to have
thinking about
dreams.
like, oh, I used to hate
Yes.
when I was a waiter, and they'd be like, yo, did you get to table 7 yet? And go, oh shit, there's
Yeah,
someone
dude.
sitting at table 7.
And then you just look over and
And
you're
they're mad
just
as
like,
hell.
be happy. And you look over and they're just like,
They're
this.
mad as hell. Like,
Yeah, Italian, dude.
Nah, love it
Some
though.
greasy. Our
I
people
love
are
Italian
greasy.
people, bro. I don't know what it is. Like Italian and blacks, we just go like this. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Either we hate each other or we love each other. There's no in between.
I feel like that perfectly explains your dating history too.
But honestly,
Welcome to the Athletic Aesthetics Podcast. We're back with another episode, and this is episode 53? 53.
53.
And we got a special episode. This is, like I said, the Athletic Aesthetic Podcast, and we're coming to you every single week with new episodes, and we are here to connect art and sports through conversation, and I think that we have a great episode to do that today. So without further ado, I want you to kind of intro our guests a little bit and let them know what we got.
Hold on. I got to get my phone out because he got a lot of information. Here we go. My fight coach, a.k.a. I'm not even going to tell you his real name, but his nickname is the Death Star, so you can imagine what he's doing to people inside the octagon. 19-10 is his fighting career. What is it? Fighting career record. That's what it is. That's his fighting career record, and he's 2-3 in the UFC, which we're going to get into that a little bit because I want to know what that experience was like. 9-1 in Pinnacle, and then 247 Sports fighting champions. He's 5-0. You know how it go. My man, KHAMA Worthy. Ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to Studio One.
Welcome.
Thanks
How you
for
doing
having
today,
me.
man?
Good, man. Doing
Good?
good.
Happy to have you here,
Yeah.
man. So I want to start with, man, because everybody knows about KHAMA and fighting. You go to all your podcasts and you show everybody talks to this man about fighting. But I want to know, where the hell did you come from? like,
an intro question.
Like, that's a great intro
Where did
question.
you come from?
Where did you come from, bro? Because you can't find anything. Like, it's like you just came from a spaceship. It was like, I'm here to fight, and that was it. You can't find where you're from. So tell us a little bit, please.
So I'm from Moon Township.
Okay.
Like everyone's always like I used to have dreads like yours, and everyone always swore I was like from like my whole family. We all had dreads. Everyone swore I was like from Jamaica or something. I'm like, no, I'm just from Moon Township. Like, my mom's from Coriopolis, dad's from Aliquippa and stuff. So I grew up around that area. And
Did you play other sports?
No, I was homeschooled.
Oh, you were?
I was like, so like my mom was like a pioneer for like a whole bunch of stuff that people think is cool now.
Yeah.
My mom did that shit
Talk
way
about it.
before everyone, like eating quinoa and shit like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like
Like,
I
my
was
wife
raised
just
a
bought-
vegetarian shit, so it's like, I
Yes.
was way before it was cool.
Your mom set the wave for now my wife, who's buying chickens,
Yeah.
making like sourdough, homemade
she's
bread,
professional with that shit
cookies,
now.
and all this stuff. So
Yeah, like-
she wants us to live off the land here within the next.
That's what I
5
know how to do. We used to like when I was younger, like we would have to like do a garden every summer.
Yeah.
Like my mom would we would like plant and then we get the food and we do
What was
all
your
that. and
go-to
go
thing that
see
you
how
would
the
grow?
growth is. Yeah.
What was your go-to, thing?
I like to do gourds.
Okay.
Like you can like take them and like make instruments and stuff out of them, or like take the insides to kind of make like pasta if you can or whatever like that, like a squash basically.
Yeah.
Like different type of squash
Yeah.
and stuff. And I'll grow cucumbers too because they're easy as shit.
Yeah. Do you still garden?
Hell no, I hate it. No, so like I hate it because my mom used to make us do it. Like
Yeah.
my wife, she wants to set up a garden now this year. Right, we just doing all this stuff in the backyard. I'm like, go right ahead.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna be doing it.
Dude, hold on, time out. Hold on.
It
You said go ahead, but you're not going to be
I'm
doing
not
it.
doing it. Yeah.
I got
Like-
news flash for you, bro. I said that about 2 months ago. My ass is out there doing shit
Nah,
all the
we
time.
We got 4 kids. I'm like, go right ahead. My wife, like, she got a dog. I don't like dogs. I'm
Okay.
like,
KHAMA,
So how does that work?
KHAMA,
not-
make this make sense, dog. How the fuck do you not like dogs?
They're too needy. They're like children.
So you don't
Yeah.
like your children?
No, I love my children, but like, this is my thing. My thing is like, my job, like what I do, it requires so much, like teaching people and then like teaching yourself all the time. Physically, you get exhausted.
Right.
Like, so I'm giving away so much energy, and when I come home, the last thing I'm like, dude, get away from me. I'm like
Yeah.
I got a 5-year-old at home. That's enough. Then I got a 12-year-old, and then I got a 16-year-old and an 18-year-old. So I'm like, I'm all
You already
yeah,
got a
different.
kiddo.
Yeah,
Holy
I'm like,
shit.
so then like, and he's just, and she got like a freaking she didn't even get. I don't even call them real dogs. She got like a Frenchie. They're not even real dogs. They can't swim. They can't lick their own ass. They're not real dogs. They can't control the temperature with their nose. Like, they're not real dogs. Like,
They can't. What does that mean? Like, because they can't breathe through their nose?
yeah, their snouts are all messed up. Like, if they're outside,
Oh, yeah.
they can overheat and die.
Yeah.
Because they can't
they
like
can't breathe
regulate their
right.
temperature like real dogs do. They can't
Yeah.
they can't lick their butts.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
like they
I wanna
can't
say-
swim. Like, they're not even real dogs.
I appreciate your bravery right now because I'm also team like I think dogs are too extra, and
Bro, what?
we're few and far between in this world, my
Dude,
friend.
back-
Like we're probably gonna get roasted for
Hold
saying this.
on,
shit.
hold on.
We're
At my gym, there'd be cats at my gym that'd be like, yo, if humans hang off the bridge and my dog's hanging off the bridge, I'm saving my dog. I'm like, y'all got problems.
Crazy,
yo,
bro.
That's insane.
crazy.
But here's the thing, though, because I guess I'm the only advocate on this dang show for puppies and stuff.
I
so,
like them, but
so, like,
I don't want to kick them off a bridge. I just don't want one in my house.
I don't. Okay, let me explain this. I love dogs. Like, I'm a big dog guy. Can't lie. But I'm also not like the overboard like dog parent, which I know a lot of those. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And honestly, we're probably all gonna get our ass whooped in this podcast. But like, to be honest with you, bro, like, I don't get the people who like let their dogs like lick them all in the mouth, do all that
Sleep in my
extra
bed?
Like,
No,
now I
dog.
don't mind like at the feet at the bed. You feel me? Like, I don't mind that. But like for me, bro, it's one of those things where it's like there's got to be limits. Like, me and my dogs
Yeah.
have an understanding. Like, if you come at me and try to kill me, then now it's every man for themselves. Like,
Yeah.
my right is to do the same, right? But then I know people who's like, if my dog attacked me, you know, it was the right thing to do. No, I
Let
don't
your
know
dog-
what
wait,
you
wait, let your dog
smoking. I
attack
don't know
you?
what.
Like, no.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
the
good.
people like, especially in this area, they love dogs, dude. Like, I mean, love them.
I'm
To
I
the
always
point
mess
where,
with people,
like,
man. I'd be like, what happened to the time when the dog lived in the doghouse? That's like, what happened?
Oh, yeah, people
what
aren't gonna
happened
like
to
this
dogs living in
conversation.
doghouse? Now people like, no,
That's
dog
over.
sleeps with
Yeah,
me. I'm
we-
like, yo, what happened?
Come on,
What
you about to
happened
get us
dogs in the
canceled now.
doghouse?
Yeah,
You about to
dude.
get canceled
I'm
because you're
like,
not
what
wrong,
happened to the
but
dog living in the doghouse? Like,
it don't
I don't
exist
know.
no more, bro.
I know,
Listen,
like-
how do we even get on this?
I don't
Dogs.
I don't know,
talking
dogs.
about-
I think it's because my man KHAMA is a dog. He just don't like dogs because he looked like a German Shepherd. Let me tell you.
He gets home and he's like, competition mode.
Bro, he is the dog.
my
That's the problem. He's peeing on couches and shit.
Definitely not.
No, but let's get
So,
into
yeah.
it a little bit, man. So you're from Moon Township, which I didn't know. And did you spend a lot of time in Aliquippa?
No, I mean a
Okay.
little bit, but not really.
Okay, so that's good information because that also explains a lot of different things for me because I thought you did. And honestly, after seeing you kick so many people in the stomach, bro, like that's the last thing I want to deal with. But with that said, what got you into fighting, man? Because you have a long history of fighting, like a long history. And just judging off of what you said about having to go and do a garden every summer, I can imagine what got you pissed off.
So it's funny because I don't like to fight. I've only been in 2 street fights my entire life. I don't like to fight. I like competition, and I enjoy martial arts, but I don't like to fight. Like, I don't actually like to fight. It scares the shit out of me. I don't like it. I just like to do stuff that scares me. And I didn't really start fighting until I was like 21. Like, I was living in New York, and I was a model. I was in New York modeling, and yeah,
Really?
like, that's what I did before I fought. And this guy, I would go to the gym, and I'd like kick the bag and stuff. And this guy was like, hey, you ever thought about doing MMA? And I was like, I didn't know what the heck it was. I remember before I left to go to New York, one of my buddies kept trying to tell me about it, and I thought it was like pro wrestling. And I was like, nah, dude. He goes, no, this stuff is great. I'm like, dude, I'm not watching pro wrestling anymore, dude. I'm like, I like The Rock and stuff. I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and come over your house and watch 4 hours of pro wrestling, dog. I'm like, I can't do it. I got better stuff to do. But I moved to New York, and I was modeling and stuff, and then this guy, I'm sitting there, this old, big-ass black dude. He was like 6'4". He's like, you know, you hit the bag pretty good. You should maybe check out mixed martial arts. And I was like, what the hell are you talking about? And I went outside, and there was a huge billboard. And I was like, oh. And I went to, like, FYI, and I brought, like, this King of the Cage set. And I went home, and I started watching. I was like, yo, they pay people to do this shit? And I just moved back home within 2 months. And
So when was this?
this was, like, when I was, like, 20. So I was,
Okay.
like, 18 years ago.
Okay.
Damn,
Wow.
God damn.
Wow.
Long time ago.
Wow, man.
Long time ago.
So you come out there, you're just learning about, you know, what's possible in the world of fighting, and what was like one of the first steps you took to take, you know, say, hey, I'm going to take this serious.
So the gym that I own now, it used to be called Fight Club Pittsburgh, and it was right up off of Campbell's Run Road in Robinson. And I used to take the bus, it was a 28X, to Robinson to Pittsburgh. That's how I got from Moon Township, way out in Moon Township to Pittsburgh. You have to go to Robinson, then shoot out that way. And I would see the gym sign on the highway all the time. So like when I decided I was going to do it, I'm like, oh, I know there's a gym back home in Pittsburgh. And I was thinking about moving back home in Pittsburgh anyway because the modeling stuff was getting on my nerves. And I was like, oh, I'll just move back home. And I just went back home and trained for I think I supposedly got myself in shape for I think 6-7 months. I went down there and started training, and the rest was history.
I want to touch base on the New York modeling phase.
Yeah, because I'm
So
curious.
how do you get into that? And you said it was frustrating. What eventually transitioned you out of
You
it?
don't make no money. Like, name a male model that makes, name 7 successful male models.
I don't
They-
know.
I
my
really
name.
don't-
I know there's one dude
There's
I went to high school with that's a model now for Under Armour. His name's Devin Goda.
Really?
Look him up. Yeah.
Definitely go to
Now it's probably different because of social
Sure,
media.
yeah.
Social media allows you to make money completely
Right,
different kind of ways.
You cut
But
the middleman out.
Exactly. But when you were back then, you were just modeling, but male models would get into acting. And I sucked at acting. I hated acting. So I was like, there's no need for me to try to do this. And you live a cool lifestyle. You get to go to all the clubs and you get to go you're all around all the people and stuff. But then you go back to your house in New York that's like the size of this table.
Explain to me what that means, because I don't know what that means to
Heck
be a
no.
New York model. So do you just drive to New York and just go, I'm
here.
a model?
So
or how does that work?
you get with a model. I had a modeling agency here in Pittsburgh, and then they set you up on these things. They're called model houses. So what you are, you pay $800 a month
Okay.
to sleep on the blow up mattress. It's you and 13 other kids, or adults or whatever, through the ages of. There's a little girl there was 15, and all the other people are 27. And we
That's
all live in the
crazy.
house, and then the someone from the agency kind of sends us out on castings. We go there, we get our headshots, we do all this stuff, and then and you just go from there. And
That's
then
crazy.
you just every day you go 7 or 8 castings every day. And
Really?
There's 80 freaking people there, and they're all okay. This casting's looking for an athletic black guy. You boop, 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 you go there and and then there's 80 big ass black people standing around looking around and shit. You're like, damn, man. And that's just how it is. If you get picked, you get picked, and you go from there.
So it's an actual program that you're part of, and they kind of book these things for you. And
Just like anything, you have there's people that you have to know the right people. It's
Sure.
not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah.
In modeling, it's definitely who's your agent and who's
Yeah.
that and all kind of stuff like that.
yeah,
Wow.
that's
So-
interesting.
So take us through this experience, because now you're a model, right? And you're trying to make a decision between being an MMA fighter and modeling. What was that decision process like for you?
Yeah,
Oh, it's
and-
overnight. I said I'm done.
So was it did you go, okay, I'm no longer modeling, I'm going to make money fighting, or was it, I'm going to fight because this is something I'm passionate about, and then the money and opportunity came later?
I wanted to be a professional fighter because I
Okay.
was stupid.
You went all in on it.
Stupid kids. You don't get into fighting thinking you're going to. I remember when I moved back home and I told my older brother I was just about to go down to the gym. And I'm it's when I started kind of watching fight. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be fighting BJ Penn real soon. My older brother dude, you have no idea what you're getting into. He's like, dude, you have no idea how hard I'm. Dude, I'll be fighting the UFC in a year or so. He goes, dude, you have no idea what you're getting into. And it was just a lot. It was a little bit of a shock into what you have to do and how hard and long it takes to really achieve your goals at this point. For
Yeah.
some people get there really fast. And some people never get there at all. It's just part of the game.
Well, tell me a little bit about the story there. I love the little pieces that put together. I want to talk about your fight coming up. I want to talk about all the things. But I love piecing together people's stories. So in that moment, right? You leave modeling. You want to be a professional fighter. How are you sustaining yourself? Do you have sponsors? Do you work?
I
what's
work at
that like?
Steak and Shake.
Bro, you worked at Steak and Shake?
I worked at Steak and Shake in Robinson for 13 years. I worked there.
I worked at Steak and Shake too.
No shit. Which
I swear
one?
to God, I worked at the one in Century 3.
Oh, okay. Who's the manager out there? Who's your manager?
Oh shit! There was this dude named Doran. Do you remember Doran? He was
He's
he was a
Romanian.
Yeah, Romanian
Yeah,
dude. Doran.
I know Doran.
No,
He came from my store.
Jesse, put the camera on my face.
Let's go, dude.
What kind of shit is this?
Yeah.
Dude, side by side
Shake and-
milkshakes all
Steak
day.
and Shake.
Steak and Shake was
Dude, I would be on the milkshake, man, making them shakes all day.
Yeah.
I hated that because at the time I didn't have a car. I'm catching a bus and shit. So during the summer, you go out to catch the bus, covered in milkshake. Because when you are in milkshake, you're covered in cream and shit when you're done.
Dude.
You sit there at the bus stop, smelling like
Smelling
dry
crazy.
milk. And during the winter, like you're sitting there all cold, your
Yeah.
coat's sticking to you. Like Steak and Shake was a tough experience,
Bro,
man.
you know what's so funny? Lindy had a nightmare once. My wife's name is Lindy, and we worked there together in high school. And one night we I forget what it was, but she fell asleep. And it was when we were working there. She woke up in the middle of the night and was like, "Someone get those milkshakes to the table." And I was like,
What?
I woke her up, and she woke up. She's like, "Oh," and I was like, "Yo, we might have to leave this place because we're having nightmares."
Dude,
about it."
listen. You ever watch that show Bear? It's about like a restaurant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I can't watch it because I've worked in restaurants like my whole life, and it gives me anxiety. Like
So
it makes
much,
me like
dude.
it makes me like start sweating.
I
I
used
start
to have
thinking about
dreams.
like, oh, I used to hate
Yes.
when I was a waiter, and they'd be like, "Yo, did you get the table 7 yet?" I go, "Oh shit, there's someone sitting at table 7."
And then you just look over and
And
you're
they're
just
mad
like,
as
be
hell.
happy, be happy, be happy. And you look over and they're just like,
They're
this.
mad as hell. Like, "Oh, well, we've been sitting here for 20 minutes." Like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I used to have all kind of lies I would think of
Oh, dude.
beforehand just to spill it out, just to let them get to them.
So hold on.
I usually just blame the milkshake guy in the back.
So what you guys got in
Yep.
common is that you guys were terrible waiters.
No,
No.
Listen, I still have people now that still know me because I was a waiter. I was a phenomenal waiter, really, really good because I could lie and because you have to be able. The thing with waiting tables is you have to be able to treat each person uniquely.
Yep.
And tell the people with the ugly baby that their baby's pretty when it's not an ugly baby.
Oh, I love-
and
no,
like
your
not
kid's
be
so
like
not
corporate.
annoying.
Cause I remember Steak and Shake used to always want us to be like a standard, like, "Hi." I never did that.
No,
And my managers
no.
hated me. I would never come up to steak. I would never come up to the table and do the traditional steak.
Yeah.
I would like, "Yo, if there's some hot girls, I'm gonna come up different. If there's a bunch of old people, I would come up different. If there's a family, I like because of that, people would come to people. They loved me at Steak and Shake, dude. That was my
Dude,
spot, man. Loved me there.
I was a great employee too. I was a good server. The only people that were actually paranoid, I think, about waiting tables were people that cared because I actually I wanted to be good. Every job I've ever had, I've wanted to be really good at it. It didn't matter if it was that or finish line or whatever. And now I'm obsessed with what we're doing here, so it kind of adds up. But dude, I love that connection. I'm so glad I asked you what you did in between there.
But you don't understand. We talk about this a lot.
Steak and Shake, for real, taught me so much about life because they made, as the server, you would greet the door. You
Yep.
would seat the guests. You would give them their silverware. You would take their drink orders. You would get them their take their orders, get their sides, run the milkshakes, run the food to the table, and then
I would have to cook the food.
And then, sometimes I'd have to go back and do some
food.
shit. And then you're expected to bus your own tables and then wipe them and reset them, and then it's a cycle.
That
so,
sounds like slavery.
bro, it
was.
It was.
It was.
Crazy.
It was.
I feel
Dude,
not qualified to say it was.
How
right
long?
now.
How long
If
were you?
anybody on this
How long did
podcast,
you
but
work
it was-
there? How long did you work at Steak and Shake?
I said I'm not qualified to say slavery,
It's
but
slavery.
But
It's
it's
I
slavery,
just
dog.
felt like I was backed into a corner. I
There's
just wanted to
multiple
state
forms
that.
of slavery. So wait, how long did you work there, man?
I say some shit on every episode. That makes sense.
Because there's times where I say shit and he'll be like, I wish I was black so I could say it. But there be shit
It's
like
usually
that.
only one time.
It's
that I
like
say
one
it.
time. It's like one time. It's
One
all right.
thing, yeah. Sorry, bro.
No Diddy, no Diddy, no Diddy, no
No,
Diddy.
you gotta say no, Diddy.
But as you were saying, you asked them, you said, how long was you working at Steak and Shake, man?
Oh yeah, 2008 to 2010.
Oh, so you
somewhere
worked
in
there
there.
for-
I was in high school.
So because the thing was, it used to be, I tell people this all the time. Steak and Shake used to be a really family-based restaurant, and then this guy took over. The reason I remember is because I hate this person with from the bits of my soul. His name is Sardar. What he does is
He
he
sound like
takes
an evil-ass villain.
Listen,
Like
he's this
fucking
Indian
Star
cat,
Wars.
right? He's this filthy rich Indian cat, and what he does, the businesses, is he takes them, he chops them. He took over Steak and Shake and he instantly cut people's pay, dollars stuff. So then there's a shareholders to make more money, and then he makes all his money, then he sells the company, then the company dumps. And that's why there's no
know
Steak
people
and
like
Shake
that.
That's why they tanked.
all around here. He'll take them. He got rid of
Seriously,
all the
that's
people that have been there for a while. He okay, so let's say they take 7 people to run this area. He'll be like, okay, now we're just gonna do it with 3. So then people are pissed off all the time. It makes and it's like adds up on problems
How do
on
we
problems
buy
on
back
problems.
Steak and Shake?
And then it just created. Oh, I hate that dude. Oh, if I see him, he would
So
like
you
walk
saw
around
him?
like
He was in the stores?
he came once.
When were you there?
I was there, dude. I was there from was it 20? I was like 20 when I started there, or 19. Like soon as I came back to Pittsburgh, so I was like 20.
around
If
the
I was
same time
20
as
and
me.
2, I was like 30.
Yeah.
Damn, yeah, you were definitely in the same place because he's only 7 years older than you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, if you knew Doran, like I was
Yeah.
there. I remember when
That's
Doran
crazy,
came for
dude.
Romania, was a trainer, and
he
then
was
became
cool.
a trainer, and then moved and like started like
Yeah.
doing his manager thing. They always tried to get me to be a manager.
Yeah.
I called it joining the.
You'd
Commodores,
been
no
good.
way in hell. No,
I'm
no,
not. I'm
hell
not.
no.
I'm not corporate. I'm like, nah, dude. I ain't joining the man.
He might slap the shit out of somebody as soon as they walk in the door late. I ain't gonna lie, but that leads
Oh,
into the
shit,
next
dude.
thing though, because you're
That was great.
working at Steak and Shake for 10 years, which is still bonkers to me. You're working at Steak and Shake for 10 years, but we know about amateur fighting and how the rules are in PA, which we'll get into that in a second, just because I feel like we're too soft and shit at sometimes. But I ain't gonna talk about that. But ultimately, man, what was your first fight like while you were working at Steak and Shake? Because I know you weren't cutting weight that easy. Like,
No. I mean, like my amateur career, I was much smaller. I mean, I'm like not gigantic now, but I used to be much smaller. But yeah, it just sucked. I have to wait tables while you're cutting weight.
That's
and
rough,
stuff.
dude.
It's rough as hell. Yeah, like you're taking people's food out in milkshakes, and you have to like cut weight. And when I started fighting MMA, it wasn't legal in PA. All of my amateur fights were in Ohio.
wow.
I had no amateur fights in PA
Why was that?
because it wasn't legal.
Okay, so explain that, because that's a whole nother topic I believe nobody in Pittsburgh knows. So, like, why wasn't it legal, and when did it get legal in your fighting career?
Like it didn't get legal until I turned pro. So none of my amateur fights were ever in PA. They were all in St. Clairsville, Ohio. It was called Cage of Chaos.
Wow.
But it was like 2.5 hours, like 2 hours away. You have to drive out there into like you would drive into some backwoods part, which I don't get how we got there without GPS. Because like this is like before GPS.
Dude,
So I
how
would
did
like
we
go to
live?
MapQuest and print the shit out and like be driving like this, like back into these
So
back
you might
parts.
die to the event.
Yeah. You never know, like, cause it's like before technology and all that shit.
Yeah,
and stuff.
and that
So,
is in
like,
the middle of nowhere. I went to West Liberty in West Virginia, and it's like maybe 30 minutes from there.
Oh my
it's like
goodness.
just like St. Clair, there's like nothing out there but like farms. There's like
Yep.
nowhere to be a barn or a convention center, like a small little center, and they just have the fights there and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's crazy.
So what was like leading up to your first fight? What was your like mindset? You know, were you really confident, or were you like, man, what am I getting myself into?
A little bit of both. Cause luckily I had a good coach, my original coach, Eric Hibbler. The thing I liked best from him is he would always make you understand it's violence first. Like I try to teach my students that. Because everyone thinks it's cool, but in reality, it's organized crime. Because if you do, like, think about it. I try to tell them it's organized crime. Because if you just started beating someone's ass in the South Side, they'd arrest you.
Right.
Facts.
But if you get sanctioned and you guys come together,
Yeah.
they allow you to beat each other's ass, and then like there's a winner and stuff. That's organized crime. So it's like it's crime that's allowed to be organized for that night.
What are some other crimes we should legalize and like try to sell
This is that shit I was talking about.
as a sport?
This man's talking about the purge already. God damn, bro. Like, they already about to start that shit. Just give it a second. Yo, listen, no, actually, that's a great question, really.
Yeah.
I really don't know. I feel like there's certain people in this world who
I was
just
being
need...
funny, but like I think
It's
that
the
would be like a
truth.
fun topic to talk about.
Like,
It's like
I genuinely feel like if you have ever did something to a child, you should get put in a circle inside of a jail, right?
This
And
took a
every
turn.
man should be able to whoop your ass for 30 minutes straight. That's what I think.
Dude, I agree.
Consistently.
that
like,
wasn't what I thought.
Consistently.
Like,
Or be like one of them, like the blood donors from Mad Max Fury Road. I was just watching that the other day, so it's like in my head right now. Remember Mad Max?
Yeah.
And they would like hang the person up and like draw their blood while they're alive. Like that movie was wild.
organized crime.
Exactly.
That's Jesse's lifestyle. He still do that shit. Jesse got 4 bodies in his closet right now, just hanging up.
You can't say that when you don't give him a mic to
I'm just
defend
kidding.
himself.
I'm just kidding. Jesse is not a murderer. I apologize. But no, so getting into it, man, you say it's organized crime, bro. So there has to be a switch inside your body that goes off. And I feel like every athlete has experienced it in some type of facet, right? When you either you get into your flow state, or what I like to call your primal state. You know what I mean? Where like most common sense things that you would think about don't exist because like there's a target, there's an obstacle. How do I get over this obstacle? So what is yours like, and when do you feel like you hit that point? Some people, I've done a lot of reading on you, but I've also done a lot of reading on UFC and the MMA. Some people say it's like right up until the fight, like the hour before the fight, and some people say they don't feel right until they literally enter the cage. So I'm curious to see on what your mind was.
It's different. When I was younger, it would like start as soon as you signed the contract or as soon as you got the official, then like your asshole gets tight. You fucking walk up. But now I learned how to just relax it and like right now, like I'm 10 days out from my fight, and if you were to spar me now, the last 2 weeks, it's completely different. Like the guys know, like fuck, dude. Like if you're sparring me as I'm preparing for a fight, it's not the same guy as I'm not preparing for a fight. Because
Right,
I'm not trying to get a little bit. It's just a little bit more pinpoint, a little bit more pinpoint. And the closer I get, the more precise I get, a little bit more violent I get. Because like I said, I don't like to fight. So that's what the Death Star is. I don't like I remember when I first started fighting, my one friend's sister was like, dude, you're like the nicest person. Like, you're gonna make a horrible fighter. So I had to understand how to like turn that switch off and be like, okay, I'm here to kill someone.
Right.
Switch on.
Right.
And like when I was young, I would like black out before my fights. Like my first amateur fight, I blacked out before the fight, and I like came to it midway through the fight, and I blacked out again. Then the fight was over. I'm in the back like, oh shit, what happened? Like, and I hang it, and that was just because like I would like, in order for me to get to that point, that fight or flight thing, I would have to like load my body up with so much adrenaline, and I would just, and then like that's why you have to train.
Right.
So then your body goes into autopilot.
Right.
And it's like, okay, what's your body do with autopilot? And that's why, like, when it comes to like your training and stuff, you have to make sure you're doing the right stuff. So then your body just, as like cheesy as it sounds, like you know how Bruce Lee would say, like you don't have to say hit, your body just does it. That's how it has to be. Like
it's a reflex at that point.
Right. It's like breathing. It's like I always tell my students, it's like when you see a set of stairs, do you have to tell your brain to walk up the set of stairs? No, your brain just naturally does it. But it wasn't always like that. Right. There was a part of the time in your life where you had to learn how to walk upstairs. When you were younger, like to learn, you ain't fall out of the light, you had to learn how to do it. And then it became natural.
Right. It became
That's what it has to be with fighting. Like it just becomes a natural feeling.
Dude, I don't know how that like feeling feels.
Me either, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
You know, I don't know that I don't know how you come back down from it. How do you kind of decompress after fights and like process? That's a great question. You know, because we talked to a few fighters now on the show.
Yeah. And
they all have like kind of different, after the fight I feel like this, or you know, whatever it may be. So like what are you like post fight?
See, for me it's weird. It's like I like to live in the moment. And then when it's over, it's over. You have to enjoy the moment itself. And then after the fight, whether you win or lose, it's like it lasts for like that tingle feeling lasts for like 2 or 3 days, and then it's like it's gone, and you're kind of like not sad, even if you lost. You're not sad because you lost. You're just sad because that all that build up feeling is gone. All you think of, like right now, as I get ready for this fight, I'm like, dude, how am I fucking gone? Like you're getting irritated, you're cutting weight, you're like, why can't I do a regular job, just do regular shit? And then like once you're done fighting, all you want to do is fight again.
Yeah.
Like that's all you want to do is just fight again. So I mean, like for me personally, I just let it just kind of like take its course and just kind of go from there.
Wow. See, I'm curious, man, because you have an astonishing record. Like if you look at all the fights that you've been through, first of all, you're up to what, 29 fights? This will be your 30?
Yeah.
So like that's a lot of fights, my boy. So like you doing that and going about it, man, like what was that experience like when you got the call that you were going to be going to a bigger type program? Because I don't know if it was Pinnacle before. Was it Pinnacle before the UFC?
Yeah. It was 2 for 7. It was like Pinnacle, 2 for 7. Then it was UFC off from there.
So when you get the UFC call, man, what's that feeling like?
It sucked. You want to know why? Because I had just fought for 247 2 weeks before, and I was at a Common concert with Kurt.
Okay.
We go see Common. He's one of my favorite artists. We had to go to Common. We drinking, and then I wake up the next morning. My manager calls me. I'm like, I knew exactly what it was. I'm like, oh, dude, I'm hungover. I don't feel like cutting weight. It's fucking Monday. I'm gonna have to leave today. I'm like, why don't I just get? And my manager was like, dude, you're probably not gonna get. Like, this is the only way we're gonna get it. So, yeah, it it was nerve wracking, but then like you didn't really have the time for the nerves to build up, so it kind of like made it more, a little bit more just fight or flight type feeling for it.
I feel that.
Yeah, and now you're training for this fight on the 20th, right?
Yes.
So, what's life looking like right now for you? And you said you're married and you have kids, correct?
Yeah.
So, like, what's life like at home when you're prepping for a fight? Being a
you
dad
know,
takes a lot of energy too.
Yeah, fucking dogs pooping. I gotta clean that shit up. Running around telling kids to do their chores and stuff. Running my daughter to daycare. But my wife does most of the stuff anyway. Like I'm always like I'll get up and do stuff in the morning, and then like at nighttime and stuff, I'll lay my daughter to sleep and stuff. I mean, like life is. I don't really like my life is like not basic, but it's like. It's simple, and I kind of like that,
Got some routines going.
Yeah, like exactly. Like I spend most of my time at the gym, whether it's training myself, training other people, training other fighters, getting them ready and stuff.
Yeah.
And then the cool thing is, my job, like even though I'm away from home, my family can come. Like my daughter can come to the gym whenever she wants.
Right.
Like she comes to the gym all the time. She's running around. She was in the gym last night, being goofy, running around, having fun, punching when people wear gloves on. My other sons come and train there and stuff. So it gives the freedom of that because the fight game, you have to dedicate almost everything to it. Like you're married to it. Your wife knows it, and your family knows it and stuff. So like now I get a little, right at this time right now, I get a little bit cranky. I'm short. Everything's like really short. I'm really short on everything. I tried to do it to my daughter because she's 5 and she doesn't, like she gets it, but like that's the older kids. I'm like, leave me the hell alone.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're a grown ass kid. Like you're 12, you're 16, and my oldest he's 18. I'm like, you're a grown ass man. I'm cutting fucking weight. Leave me fucking alone. Like you know what's going on. So they kind of get it. The baby is not her fault, so I be cool with her and stuff. But like,
so as you're going through this with the family and they're watching you, work for this. What kind of things are you trying to communicate to them as far as like how you maneuver through the cranky or how you maneuver through the ups and downs of training. So like, what do you want them to take away from that?
Like my youngest son, he says he wants to be a professional fighter. So I just always like to remind him, I'm like, dude, shit does not go as planned. And that translates to everything in life in general. I'm like, dude, nothing ever goes as planned. So that's why I just always try to tell him, like, it's going to take more than what you expect and a lot more than what everyone else expects from you. Like, that's just the fight game in general. Like, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you think, I got to do all this. And it doesn't. Like, oh, shit, that was fast. You're in and out. But you have to be willing to, like, give up more and sacrifice more than what's asked of you. And it sucks. Like, the hardest part when it comes to fighting for me, and, like, when I try to explain this to young guys, is you can do everything right and still fail. And at every other job, if you do everything right, it's going to be successful. If I'm a lawyer and I read all the text and I do all that stuff, I'm going to kick ass in this case. Not so much in fighting. You can do everything right, perfect diet, and then just lose. And you're like, dude, and it can put like a bad taste in your mouth if you hold on to that too long. Like my buddy Cody Garbett, he's fighting this weekend for UFC 300, and I was just watching a little video he was doing. He was like short-term memory. You can't hold on to your wins like that. You can't hold on to your loss. Like, you got to be able to, and that translates to everything you do in life. Like, if you get, like, let's say, like, you work somewhere and you get a bonus, and then, like, for the whole year, like, I'm the man. No, dude, we moving on. Like,
we gotta move.
Your boss will come back, okay, what have you done for me now? You're like, oh, well, I was still celebrating because I had one bonus I got. Like, you're going to get left behind. So it's a good thought process to have and stuff. So.
Do you think you've always had that thought process of?
Yeah. Like, my mother's, we were just raised different. Like I said, we were homeschooled. Like, she always taught us, like, very self-aware and like very alert of, like, what's, like, my mother would never buy us, like, stuff. Like, she would be like, if you really want something, like, I had stuff that I need, but, like, special stuff, like cars or shit like that. My mom like, no, I'm not buying you a car. She was like, you know what the type of value it takes if you actually put the effort in to do it. And, like, like I said, I would catch the bus. It sucks catching the bus. So,
facts.
what you want to do? I'm like, I like right now, like, that's my big thing. I never get on the bus.
Yeah.
I won't. Like, I have like a phobia. I hate getting on the buses because I'm like, I used to have to catch a bus. It's cold.
Yeah.
It's sun. I'm like, so I make sure I always have a car no matter what. Like, because and it makes you feel some kind of way when you bust your ass to get that. I won't buy my kids cars. I don't care how rich, how much money I have. I'm not buying you a car.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll help you. I'll put you on the right path
Yeah.
so you can get one, but I won't just give this to you.
You're
Nope.
right though. 'Cause
No,
that
that's a
makes
huge
sense.
point.
Because I tell a lot of the people that I'm around, even my friends, man, it's like I'll never be your crutch, right? But I can always be your shoulder.
Yep.
You know what I mean? When you need to cry, you need to have a conversation, let's do it. But if you expect me to be your crutch, bro, I'm trying to hold myself up, dog. We both can't be over here limping, pimping.
Especially with kids, man. Like, so that's a problem with so many kids nowadays. Like, that's why I love to do when I have my little ninja program. I explain to the parents. I'm like, I'm teaching your children how to use develop problem solving skills. Let them get physically beat up and learning how to keep coming back and keep like nowadays kids like they let kids quit so much. And of course now you have your freak athletes. You have the kids that are over the top athletes. I'm like, but you have to also push everyone through physical trials and tribulations, so you get used to like problem solving. I'm like kids like nowadays like I have a lady that comes to my fitness class and she's a professor, and she was just saying how like these parents will come and just like do everything for these kids while they're in college. And be calling, hey, why'd you give my kid a D? Because he's dumb. He's fucking stupid. That's why he got a D. Stupid. Like, why do you think he got a D? Like I'm not picking on your kid, but kids are just and it's not really their fault.
Yeah,
it's society, it's social media, it's everything. Like,
Yeah.
even like, all right, not to get off topic, but when I was coming up, if I wanted to watch the fucking Power Rangers, that was my favorite show growing up, I would have to be at home at a specific time to watch the Power Rangers. 3 days a week, they would come on, I think it was like 5:30.
Yeah.
I would have to be in front of the TV at that time. If I missed that time, motherfucker, you missed the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
But when nowadays, it's different. Everything's streamed, everything's accessibility when you want it. So I even hate it with my 5-year-old because I'm like, yo, you want to watch a movie? He goes, no, I want to watch YouTube. I want to watch, and she'll just flick through, and I'm like, that ain't reality, dog. You don't just get shit. I be sitting there, my wife like realizing, like, that's not real.
Dude,
you watch a movie and you watch it to the end, and then the shit's over. You're not flipping through YouTube going from movie to movie, show to show, dude.
As far as this goes, like I think, and you know, it's crazy that you come in here and you started by saying you were homeschooled. Like, me and my wife are considering homeschooling, at least like for the first few years of my daughter, who's 4. And figuring out like what that you're shaking your head. Why are you okay? So why I want to have this. This is a side conversation.
Okay, so
here.
this is weird,
I keep
right?
talking to people,
I tell people
about their kids.
When the world that I grew up in, being homeschooled, was different.
Okay.
Right? Nowadays, kids are too distracted. Everyone has a phone and tablet. I didn't like my mom. We would wake up and she'd get the books. And we were homeschooled. Like, only other distraction I could think of was a TV. But at that time, like, if there's just nothing on it, there's nothing I like to watch on TV, so there's nothing I can watch. But homeschooling kids now, there's too many other distractions. So even when I get upset with my kids, when they get I'll tell you, I figured this out when COVID hit and we had to homeschool for a little bit, and the kids were like, on my phone. I'm like, why don't you use common sense? I'm like, oh, because you're 13. You don't have common sense. Like, you're a fucking idiot. You're supposed to be a fucking idiot. You're 13. If you tell a 13-year-old do your homework or look at Snapchat, they're gonna fucking look at Snapchat because it's just they haven't developed yet. So like, you have to like put yourself in their shoes. Like, and like, I think in today's world, sometimes kids get a bad rap because as old people be like, just use some damn common sense. Like,
they ain't got no common
they ain't got
sense.
nothing. Like, if Snapchat was around when I was 16 and I was homeschooled, I would have never graduated because I was just been like, fuck Snap. Like, if social media was around when I was younger.
They have it in the schools too, So like, that's like my counter to that is like,
yeah, but in the school structure, like you'll see. Like, okay, but how old is your daughter or your child?
4. She'll be 5 this summer.
Or they're not the same person when they go to daycare as they are when they go home, right?
I have a stay-at-home wife, so
okay, so
they're not
like
in daycare. They're in sports. Like, she has soccer today.
So my daughter goes to daycare, and she's a complete different person than she is at home. Like in daycare, she'll sit there and be all dainty and listen to shit.
Yeah.
Cause I came in one time and I like saw her out the corner of my eye, like I came in midday and she was just sitting there drinking her tea. I'm like, this little shithead. You don't like that at home. At home, you're running people because it's just a different environment. It's where you feel comfortable. But like when there's a lot of people and everyone around you is doing the same thing, you just kind of go with the flow. No, I'm not saying don't homeschool. I'm just saying it's gonna be. It's hard because there's just so many distractions and they push you. Kids push you. Like I know your daughter pushes you now. They'll try you over and over and over. I'm like, I get in fist fights with my daughter. Yeah. Straight up.
Okay.
And be like, let's go then. Like she'll
square up.
Dude, she'll punk my wife and the kids and stuff. And she'll see me. She's like, no, not you, daddy, not you. Because I'm like, no, we're gonna get into it. Like, I'm not. I ain't letting you run over me. Like she'll like to try to run over my wife. I'm like, no, you're a manipulator. Like I know you, A class. You're an A class manipulator. Yeah, you're like
that is true. Like all kids try to manipulate and see how far they can get. And if you don't check it, they take advantage of it.
It's like keep going further.
You know, like you have to check it. And I think a lot of people don't get checked at a young age. And that's why they go through life trying to manipulate people because they were never called on it. And then when they get called on it, then they're actually a narcissist because now they're telling you that you're wrong for calling them on it. So that's...
Wow, you went down a rabbit hole.
My favorite thing to tell people, I'm like, yo, I can tell no one's ever punched you in your fucking chest. Like I can tell no one's ever punched. There's never been a man that punched you in the chest and made you like cough and not be able to get in the air. You see some of these young guys now, I'm like, oh, you've never had the wind knocked the fuck out of you.
You're too confident.
I can tell.
I will say this though, I'm gonna keep the same rule I've kept for a long period of time. These guys know the rule. I'm a big communicator. You know what I mean? Like communication can solve many things, but if it does not, and you so happen to think that you were that elite, well, there's a second option. Common, I think you would like the second option because you're a fighter yourself. I tell everybody, there's two ways that we could do this. We could talk about it or we could box about it.
Yeah.
You know, and now you got to also understand now, like you said in street fighting, there ain't no rules in street fighting. So if we decide to box about it, you better be prepared to possibly lose your life. Because I'm not coming here to lose. I'm not getting in this game.
I've watched people choose to talk about it a lot.
But yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, you see that at the club, I'm like, no, you don't really want to fight.
You don't want to do this, bro.
You don't really want to fight, dude. Come on, man.
The worst is, though, is when you come at somebody very calm. Like, you don't get rah-rah. You don't say nothing. You just be like, look, man, like, I get it. You're upset. But see, I don't think you understand. I'm ready to die right here. Are you? And they look at you like, what you say? Yeah. Like, I'm okay with it. You want to go do this? like, no,
I'm good, dog.
Like, I'm good. I don't want to do this. So that leads into my next question, man. Like, as a fighter, bro, like, how do you de-escalate situations when they come around? Because I know you being especially a professional fighter, right? Like, there's certain things that you know for a fact, like, I can't hit this man. I'll kill this man. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
do people push you extra because they know that about you, or
to a certain degree? Like I'm a real male man. I'm a real like really chill, like you know what I mean. I'm like real like quiet and off to the side like type guy. Now I'll get a little bit of drinks. I might say some shit in me and shit, you know. But like I mean like like they'll try it. Like Chris Deep, he knows Chris Deep. He's like my longtime friend. I've been training him forever. He's one of the coaches at the gym now. When we were younger, we used to go out with him. My strength coach, John Lepp, and we had another dude, Dave. We'd always go out, and they'd always get into fights and shit. And I'd always be trying to de-escalate. I've always been like the de-escalator. Like, my little brother, Shaka, he was always beating up people at the park and shit.
His name is
like,
Shaka.
nah, I'm good, man. I don't like...
You gotta think though, because you're not wrong. I've seen Shaka in the gym a couple of times, and this man got a whole lot of trauma. And this is the reason why I say that. Because I'd be like, Shaka, like, you don't light spar with nobody. Like, even when they say light sparring, this man's full on kicking people. Like, in the lip. Nah, he ain't kicked me in my lip, bro. I ain't gonna, but I will say this: there's certain guys in the gym that you just know I'm not ready for yet. Shaka is one of those people. Master White Fang, first of all, his name is Master White Fang. I want y'all to understand this.
There's so many crazy names on this podcast.
Man, crazy names, right?
There's so many.
Here's my experience. Let me take y'all back for a second because I'm a newbie.
What was the other guy you said?
Shaka, there's Master White Fang, and then who else was I saying?
There was someone earlier, and I was like, that was his name?
Listen.
His nickname's Death Star?
Yeah, but they got a lot of weird names over there.
Shaka is his real name. That's my brother. It's his real name.
Shaka is his real name. But listen, though, right? So I walk in here, and Master White Fang's trying to teach us certain things. And he throws a punch, and I feel his force through the ground. I don't think y'all understand. No. I've never experienced anything like this. When he punched, I felt his feet, like through the ground. Like he used every bit of his body to throw this one punch.
And he's a 50-year-old engineer. Now,
Bro,
he's been
what?
doing martial arts his whole life.
He
But he's
looks-
a 50-year-old
bro, he's
engineer.
Peter
He
Parker.
understands physics and things like
He
that.
is
too.
Peter Parker, bro.
He's Peter Parker.
He is Peter Parker, but older, bro. Like he's like if Peter Parker's uncle and him morphed into one person. That's Master White Fang, bro. But he like legitimately like they tell you to use your whole body when you punch something, right?
Yeah.
You can physically feel him using almost damn near his toes.
Yeah.
Like when he's like it's crazy. I've never seen anything like it, but. And it's an experience. But let's get into the UFC talk because I've been waiting on this, man. I've been really wanting to have this conversation because people tell me all the time, they're like, yo, getting into the UFC is not as like glorified as it really is. You know what I'm saying? Just because I feel like there's a lot that comes with it. The money's not always as great. The people aren't always as great. So I want to hear your experience because you also fought in front of a lot of
fuck
fans.
that shit. The UFC was awesome. Like, no, I mean, like, seriously, for me, like, I know everyone has their own experience and stuff. And, like, of course, you want the money to be more. Like, you want more money. But the UFC helped. Like, I had 5 UFC fights. And because of that, I was able to keep my freaking gym when COVID happened and all that stuff. So, nah, I mean, like, yeah, I would have wanted for more money. But I'm like, nah, it was cool. I liked it. I mean, like, it gave you, for me personally, it made me immortal for a little bit. You know what I mean? Almost for eternity, you can say that, right? Like the UFC gave you that different type of status, you would say, and it gave me a lot of money too. I mean, I got $50,000 for my first fight, a $50,000 bonus.
First fight.
Yeah, like so I made like so you gotta realize I go from running a small business where you're not like you don't make any money.
Sure.
Like it was my first year opening the gym, we got flooded out. Like flooded out completely. Had to like freaking rebuild, GoFundMe, all kind of shit. So like I'm just now getting back to a point where like I'm actually like kind of making small business money from the gym. So like, but with the UFC, like I made like I was going from making like $50,000 a year. That's doing privates and fights and shit to just making that in a lump sum, then lump sum.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, I was shit.
Yeah, you doing mad. You made some good money, dog. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, 30 fights. Well,
Man.
that's not UFC.
Yeah, that's about 5 fights.
I'm not trying to count your pockets, but you've done well.
Oh yeah, man. You know something like that.
He said, "Don't come to the gym and find out, though." I'll tell you that right now.
No, I run around the gym all the time. Yo, man, your rent's due, motherfuckers. I need my money. Gotta
right.
pay these lights.
Dude, I know you got kids. That ain't cheap.
Right, dude.
I do have a question, though, about the fight, man. Specifically, why are you still fighting? Where are you getting the drive from?
Because you did retire.
So I retired because I got a hip transplant in September. I got a completely new hip.
What?
At 37.
Yeah, because my hip was so bad. I have this condition. It's called pistol hip, where you're growing so much when you're like 12 that your hips just keep growing. It takes up all the calcium and destroys all the cartilage. So I haven't had any cartilage in my hip since I was like 20.
Damn.
And it just got worse, and it's just bone on bone and bone on bone on bone, and it just got really, really bad to the point I could barely even walk. Like my last 2 like MMA fights, I was like, I would limp out of bed every morning. I would limp when I'm done with training. Like it was like ridiculous. And my last 2 boxing matches, I was limping during the fucking boxing match because I could barely I couldn't put weight. I only had like 2% external rotation for my left leg. So it's like.
Damn.
Wow, so you really couldn't even throw kicks the way you really wanted to.
Like when I got to UFC and I went to the PI and they do this whole thing, they check you all out and they were like, so how do you throw kicks? I'm like, well, I have to like really over exaggerate the right leg to make the left leg work. Or if I want to throw the right leg, I really have to get the person to miss a kick or miss a punch where if not, I can't rotate the leg and stuff. So I mean, you just get used to doing stuff. And I wasn't like after my first UFC fight, I went to go see a doctor and like, oh, you should just quit. I'm like, oh, fuck. I ain't done all this shit just to get here and quit now. So I just wrote it into it was like nothing else I could do. And then I retired because I didn't hip surgery. Like they told me you're gonna need hip surgery. I'm like, oh, I'm done, dude. So I wanted to just keep pushing until I just couldn't do anything. And then I got the hip surgery, and then there was like so much. The only reason I got the hip surgery is because a local boxer, Mike Manna, he told me to. I wasn't going to get it. Cause I was like, you get it, then you're all crippled and shit. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, Because like you think about guys like Bo Jackson, like you get the hip surgery and it's your rock, like you're never the same guy. I'm like, I'm just gonna fucking limp my way around until I'm like old, and then I'll get the hip surgery and be an old guy. But he told me, he was like, dude, it's nothing like, because they go through the front instead of going through the glute, they go through the front now. So it's way faster recovery and stuff.
So September, dude, that was really recent. So
Yeah.
what was different, training for this fight, fighting through that as well as preparing?
Well, I mean, like it was easier because I actually could use both my legs, like
Oh wow.
because my legs were like, I used to not be able to use my left leg at all, like for the past probably like 2 years or so, like grappling and sprawling and stuff. I couldn't really use my left leg to stop anything. I couldn't really put a lot of weight onto my left leg to strike off my right side. So like everything had to be like modified. I got really good at modifying stuff. Like actually, one of the coaches, Isaac, he actually saw me sparring the other day. He works with Dalton Rasta and stuff. He runs the Map Factory, and he was telling me, he goes, yeah, I can tell you have a lot more weapons because you can like properly shift weight to each leg, so it gives you more options and stuff like that.
Because you had no choice.
Yeah, I had no choice. And my body, like your body, your body's smart. Like, if you ever see those native girls in I don't know exactly the country in Africa, they put those rings on their neck and their heads just keep growing because your body will just keep adjusting to whatever
is around
it has to do. Yeah, it's just you become like a circumstance of your environment. If you have a fucked up hip, then my leg just keeps.
No, that is extremely true though, because I get worried about, because I'm going to need a knee replacement here in the next 3 to 4 years, and I'm only 27. And it still blows my mind because I'm like, bro, like I'm 27 years old. I shouldn't be having to have even this thought process yet, right? And you see these different types of things, man, and it's just genuine. And like human beings are scary in terms of what we can do in terms of an adaptation.
Yep.
Because like even certain sharks, right? If you put a shark in a certain shark tank, it won't grow past that shark tank.
Exactly.
It'll stay that size, right? So it's like the importance of your environment is extremely important, right? Like you said, the women from Africa whose necks are extremely long because it is adapted to those rings around their neck. That to me, like if you really sit down and think about that, that's crazy. Yep. You know what I mean? The ability to adapt the way that we adapt is amazing. And that's why I genuinely believe as athletes, right, we're built to get over obstacles. It doesn't matter if it's in life or it's in actual combat or is it in a sport. It's like you're built to adapt, conquer, and overcome. So then when people sit there, they're like, bro, I can never do anything. I just won't.
The woe is me people. I hate those people, man.
Oh
I'm
my
like, dude.
gosh, bro.
I'm like, dude, just fucking do it. Like, and fail. That's what most people are afraid of. The people are like, oh man, I could never. Like, no, you don't like the failing feel. You just think you want to do it and succeed right away. I'm like, that's not
it doesn't
reality.
exist. And that's the one thing that's crazy about it is because so many people get so scared to fail that they just won't do anything. And I like to ask people often, I'm like, so you rather do nothing and already fail, because you're failing already, regardless, you're already failing, right? Then try and then fail and learn on what you failed from and get successful in doing the things that you said that you wanted to do.
Nah, they rather say stuff like, no, I would have done it, dog, but I tore my tonsils. All right, motherfucker.
Whatever you say, buddy.
Yeah, I've heard some crazy excuses over the, even just football and
anything.
Dude, D2, any excuse.
Dude, like even now,
dude,
people still use COVID. They still use COVID. Yeah, I was doing real good, then COVID hit. I'm like, all right, so what happened? Fucking COVID hit, dog. Everything. I'm like, so
did you make a move after
pull
that?
a Tom Brady, motherfucker, pull an audible. Like, no, damn, so what? Like, shit got bad, and you just was like, yeah, that's a wrap, dog. Like, I'm like that's but so many people, that's just how they're. And I can't really get, again, that all comes into your upbringing. Like, again, like I was saying, but my kids, how I want my kids and like the kids I teach to learn how to have problem-solving skills. If you don't have problem-solving skills, then you literally just be like, fuck, oh, we're here. And I'm like, damn, dog. Like, you're like, and that's just the way it is. They just can't adjust to whatever situation you put in.
Facts.
No, that's great, man. This has been great. I appreciate you coming in. And I want to ask one more question. So since we do like the show Athletic Aesthetic, we always try to bring an element of like creativity into it. And so I just want to ask you, because I'm going to put together a playlist at some point. I'm going to go back through all the episodes. What's, like maybe 1 or 2 songs that are always in your rotation for like pre-fight? Or do you not listen to music? What's your...
I listen to music, but it changes.
Okay.
Like,
so if you had to pick top 2, like you can only listen to these 2 songs before a fight.
Oh, I can't do that.
You can't
It's
do it
too
on the
hard.
spot.
It's
Okay.
too, this is the reason why. And this is the reason why. Because each fight requires a different element, right? Some fights
This
I'll come in
man's the
relaxed.
Avatar. Oh shit.
Some fights I'm coming in like I need to kill this guy. Some fights like right now I'm thinking like I'm not gonna say it out now, but like my walk outside I need to be a little bit ignorant because I'm like I'm pretty sure this guy's looking at me like he's old. He got a hip surgery. Let me go fuck this old guy. So I'm coming out ignorant as hell, which I normally don't do. But I'm gonna do some ignorant shit. Like, yeah, I'm gonna have to come out and embrace my ignorant side. So like, and like each song. So like, there's no. Like, I have to listen.
How about
to
this
song.
then? Whatever your walkout song is, we'll figure it out, and then we'll add that to the playlist.
There we go.
For sure.
It's gonna be fun. I'll tell you guys off camera and stuff. I'm like, oh shit, that's not his ignorant. That's ignorant as hell. Yeah.
No, you could definitely tell when he did watch professional wrestling, he was part of the badass era. You could tell.
You come out the Limp Bizkit, dude.
Limp Bizkit. I haven't heard that in so long. Oh my gosh, bro. Like,
Oh man.
but nah, man, this has been a great podcast, man. Is there anything else that we could possibly tag out there? There is. What's your Instagram? Where can they find you? Where's the academy? Tell them all that.
Tickets for the
man.
fight.
Yeah, tickets especially.
My Instagram. I get him down here. My Instagram is the Death Star _1. I don't have a Twitter. Because, like, when they restarted Twitter and everyone told they gonna come on some racist shit, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna come at your ass. So I'm gonna have to get her Twitter X back again. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you can't say this, but you can't say that. I'm gonna bust your ass. You can say some shit, I'm gonna find you. But, yeah, it's the Death Star _1. My gym's the Academy. We're located at 24 Woodville Avenue, right up off of Green Tree Road. Come down. I don't just train there. I teach. We give everything from kids, fitness, kickboxing, boxing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Go on down and check it out.
Awesome.
And my next fight's April 20th at the Meadows Casino out in Mountain Air. If you're going to get tickets, get them under my name. Fuck everybody. No, not really. Everybody else. I got a whole bunch of homies on that card. Don't fuck everybody else. Make sure you get the tickets under my name.
Hey, what to say, man? Put some paper in my man's pocket.
Get them under my name. You're going to get them. But come out, be a fun card and stuff. Lots of fun.
Definitely, man. Well, appreciate you coming on. Definitely excited to share this one out to the viewers and the listeners. So appreciate you guys for checking it out, for being here for another week. We are up on. We had some like issues with the login for like the audio platform, but we're back up. All episodes are there, so make sure you like, share, subscribe, and if you can rate and review the show, if you listen to it, it goes a long way as far as boosting us in the algorithm. So. Appreciate you today, man. Thanks for being here. We always sign off. We actually say, we've been doing this with our guests. So, we say, this is Athletic Aesthetic and we love you. So, like, what we're going to do is we'll set it up. We'll say, this is Athletic Aesthetic. And we'll throw it to you and you say, and we love you.
Just look at this camera right here.
That's your camera.
There we go. Right.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, without further ado, thank you guys for being here. This is Athletic Aesthetic.
We love you.
Boom.
That right? That fucked it up? This is why I'm bad. This is why I didn't want to be an actor. We love you or love you. Let's do it again.